Hey, welcome back to LWG. We're back in the Mortal Realms, and we've got a battle today with Stormcast Vanguard Chamber versus the Bretonnians. So today we're going to be playing Focal Points, which is the mission where it's divided, the evil diagonal deployment, and we're 9 inches off either side, and there are 5 objectives. There's one in the middle, there are 2 18 inches away that way, and 2 18 inches away that way. If you control a objective, you get 1 point, but if you control the farthest one, so that one up there and this one over here, you get 3 points. If you control that one and that one, you get 3 points, and the one in the center is 2 points. And you score at the end of your turn. So should be a good game. We got some speed, we got some shooting, and some non-conventional lists for you today. So we're gonna go check those out now. All right, here we are with the forces of Bretonnia with Chase, the pilot for today.
Yeah, this is gonna be a really good case of crashing and burning. So we got the king right there on the hippogriff. I'll just use my finger, that's gonna be easier.
Yeah.
That right there. He's like a 400-point beat stick. Makes all my stuff fearless if they're within 24 inches. The noble champion's right here. He's like the second in command. He just helps all my peasant guys not be cowards. Over here then we have a damsel on a horse. She's gonna go ahead, cast a spell that gives like a feel no pain to my guys. 32 bowmen. Once per game they can just shoot a ton of shots into lead a unit. 20-inch range though, they can move 5 inches. They get like cool fortifications if they don't move. 2 minimum units of 16 just because I couldn't fit any more of men-at-arms. They're really bad like, infantry.
But their bodies.
Yeah. And they actually last surprisingly long due to his like fearlessness bubble. We got 2 wizards right here, the white wizard Merlin and then his apprentice Mordred. So he's a white wizard, that's a gray wizard. Gray wizard does the -1 to hit spell, he does the fearless spell. Got the Geminids. This is really cool, this is a trebuchet with its crew. That's from Zombie Side, that model. So
cool.
To get a handle. And then we got some old and some of the newer Bretonnian knights in a big unit. All the ones I could get my hand on.
And those are the
Knights of the Realm.
Knights of the Realm, okay. Because there's like a million kinds of knights.
Yeah,
can't ever tell which ones they are.
It's
cool.
mainly just whoever has more checkers and stuff on them is like the higher ranked knight.
Well, obviously. So cool. Yeah, it's great to have you out. This is our first game on the channel with Chase, so we'll see how it goes. We're moving over to the Stormcast. Okay, and here we are. This is the first time we're gonna have my new Stormcast Eternals army on the channel. So I just got these guys painted up, and I did a Stormhost of my own design. They're called the Consecrators. So I'm kind of spending some time writing some backstory with them. But I made my own color scheme on this one, but we're going to be running the Tempest Lords for them as a stand-in. I guess technically I could pick whatever Stormhost I want, but today it'll be Tempest Lords. I really like the Tempest Lords fluff, so they might be like a splinter faction off of them, you know, something like that. But it's a Vanguard chapter for the most part, so a lot of like sneaky shooty units in this list. So that being said, I got my Lord Aquilor as my general for today, and since it's the Tempest Lords, he'll have the artifact, the Patrician's Helm, which will let him, whenever I spend a command point on a 5+, I can get it back, and that'll be my 1 artifact because I'm Stormcast, and you don't get battalions in Stormcast. So, and then I'm running. What's that?
It's like good Stormcast, dude.
Hey, listen now. Making fun of my army already. It's good Stormcast. So, and then behind him, I got the Knight Venator, my sniper, and I got the Knight Azeros. We got the Prime, the Celestant Prime, coming in to save our butts in the turn 3, hopefully. We got some Long Strike Raptors there. I love those guys. Vanguard Paladors. Over here we have the Knight Incantor, and today she's going to be rocking the Everblaze Comet and the Geminids. I got them back there. And then we got, for Battle Line, we got 2 squads of Judicators, which are, if you're curious, these are converted from the Vanguard Hunters and Judicator sets put together, which, believe it or not, they go together really well. You don't have to do any green stuffing or anything. They fit. So if you're thinking of doing that, they fit real well. So, and then I got some Vanguard Hunters. with swords. And they got the compass there so they can outflank. And finally, everybody's favorite here at the club, the Gryph-hound squad. So, so that's what I'm running here for today. And yeah, we'll go over to the battle. All right, so after deployment, the Stormcast are advancing on the center of this ruined town. And they come across the gallant defenders of the Bretonnians, lined up along the line here, ready to receive the charge. Got the knights on the right flank, infantry holding down the middle with the archers behind, the king on the hippogriff back there, wizards and heroes mixed in. They're controlling the objective here, and they're very close to that one up there. And then the backfield there, we have the trebuchet and crew screening out for any outflankers or deep strikers or attack from the heavens from the Stormcast. And on the Stormcast side of things, we've got the Knight Venator here on the right flank, Lord Aquilor and the Gryph-hounds taking up a central position, and the Knight Paladors on the left here, and the Vanguard Paladors, excuse me, and then the Vanguard Longstrike Raptors, sniper position in the rocks back here, supported by the Knight Incantor. And up in the heavens, of course, we have the Celestin Prime, the Knight Azeros, and outflanking is the Hunters, and the two Judicator squads are also going to be arriving from the heavens. So the battle is set, and we're going to be moving into Bretonnians turn 1. Alright, the battle has begun, and it was the hero phase first, and then the movement phase is where we ended up. So in the hero phase recap here, he has 3 wizards. They all attempted to cast spells, and they all rolled a 4, so they failed everything. So it must be, we caught them by surprise or something. They didn't see us. But anyway, as the Bretonnian forces are moving into this decrepit town, we have a squad over here moving to the Bretonnian right flank. The spearmen have reformed in the front, ready to receive a charge. Archers moving into the ruins to get better range on the Stormcast. And the knights moving across to the flank over here fast, going for the classic hammer and anvil. So it looks like the heroes are staying still towards the back of the formation there. And that's the movement. We're moving into the shooting phase. All right, and battle is joined. The arrows fly in, but only 4 of the archers were in range of the Knight Paladors, and that is just not enough Bretonnian arrows to do anything. So it just harmlessly bounces off the Palador's Sigmarite, and the trebuchet hiding back there fired all the way downtown and got 2 auto hits on my Gryph-hounds, and ended up doing 4 damage with its 2d6 damage and killed 1 Gryph-hound, which greatly angered us. Bretonnian turn ended, and they got 1 point for controlling this objective, 1 point for controlling that objective, and 2 points for controlling the center objective. So 4 zip going to the Stormcast bottom of turn 1. Alright, in the hero phase for the Stormcast, the Knight Incantor has successfully casted the Comet, and casted on a 7, and we were out of range for the Dispel, and it ended up landing right here in the middle of the Bretonnian line. So we're going to do the damage here. So the damage for the Comet, we're going to be hitting the squad right here, and what we got? We got 3 flat 3 mortals on them there. We'll move over to the next squad here, which is the Archers. They take 1. And the hero in there, the Bretonnian hero, this guy, he takes 1. The wizard right next to him takes 3. The damsel in the back takes 3. Oh no! And the Bretonnian lord takes 1. So nothing but 3s and 1s, and we'll get that damage put out there. Right, end of the Stormcast movement phase. The heavens open up, lightning strikes, and the Stormcast have arrived. So what we got is we're moving up to control the objectives and also bring some firepower to bear on the Bretonnian archers, because they're the big threat. So on the right flank here, we had the Venator move over here, still controlling that objective, but moving away from those knights downfield a little bit. The Lord Aquilor moved over towards the center, and we got the Judicators striking in here. our wizard ran up, our knight incantor, and the Lord Aquilor used his command ability to Lord of the Azurite Hurricane to teleport the Longstrike Raptors from here, who were pretty much out of range of anything juicy, over to here. And the Paladors scooted up a bit along with the Gryph-hounds. We're moving into the Stormcast shooting phase. Stormcast turn 1 shooting phase is complete. We unleashed our arrows back at the pretentious Bretonnians for shooting their arrows at us, and we killed, well, it looks like, what, 12 or 13 from the archer unit there?
13, yeah.
13? Cool, wow, kind of impressed with myself. It was just a glance. So, and then the Longstrike Raptors put 2 mortals on the Bretonnian general, on his Hippogriff, and that's it. That's all we did. All the shooting with plus the Venator and the Adjudicators just knocking off a chunk of archers. And I do not believe... Yeah, we're going to try for the charge. So, moving into the Stormcast charge phase, the Gryph-hounds are going to attempt to charge. What do they get? That's an 8, and so we'll measure it up and see if they made it in. So the Gryph-hounds rolled an 8 for their charge, and they did end up making it into the Bretonnian lines. So we'll do the movement and the combat phase. Right, so after the combat phase, the darting attacks from the Gryph-hounds went in on the men-at-arms and cut down 3 of them, and then the Gryph-hounds did their fallback move to secure the objective in the center. That will bring the Stormcast up to 4 points, which means at the end of round 1, it is 4-4. So we're going to do the big initiative roll-off here. Here we go. Oh no! That means I don't even have to roll. So, so Bretonnian's going first or second?
I'm going to go first here.
Bretonnian turn 2 coming up. So we resolved the comet burn, and it burned down that wizard, killed him, put 2 wounds on that hero, killed 2 guys from this squad and 2 guys from that squad. 3 from the archers. I did roll a 6. So 3 archers, and it was just out of range of these 2 back here. I couldn't quite get it any further. So, but all in all, the comet is doing fantastic. So moving on to the rest of the Bretonnian hero phase. Got the Bretonnian movement phase. The squad here advanced around the side, so they won't be able to charge. We got the archers moving up to do a volley. This squad here of men-at-arms has consolidated on the objective, and they do have it. The Lord moved up. The lady on the horse went over to grab that objective, and these knights have advanced up, so they won't be able to charge, but they did steal that objective. So this is going to be a big scoring turn for Bretonnians, and the Stormcast will have to fight their way back. So moving into the shooting phase for the Bretonnians. Right, Bretonnia turn 2 shooting phase. The arrow storm from the archers flew over into the Paladors, did a ton of shots, and I think got 7 wounds on them, and 2 wounds got through the armor save there on the Paladors. Then the Trebuchet way downtown there, behind that mountain, fired in onto the Adjudicators and ended up killing 2 of them. So that was a well-placed stone. So we're moving into the Bretonnia turn 2 charges. Okay, and after the combat phase, the Bretonnian Lord went in on the Paladors and struck down 2 of them, and also brought the unit champion down to 2 wounds left, so he did great. And then the unit champion attacked back and put 2 wounds on the Bretonnian Lord, and that was the only combat. So following Bretonnia turn 2, they picked up 6 more points, bringing them up to 10, because they got this objective, that objective, which gives them 3, the middle for 2, and then that one up there gives them 1. So, got to fight back. But this is, we're usually, when I'm playing Stormcast, we're usually on the back foot like this, and we got to fight back. At least with the list that I'm running. So, going into Stormcast turn 2. Alright, so after the Stormcast hero phase, the Knight Incantor didn't do much. She moved up and failed to cast Geminids, and then moving into, or excuse me, other way around. She did Geminids and then moved up, but now in the movement phase, yes, the Knight Incantor moved up. These Adjudicators moved back a little bit. At the end of the movement phase, the Lord Aquilor, who had moved through the ruins up to here, uses the command ability to teleport the Longstrike Raptors up to here, getting 2 models on that objective, so we should definitely have that one. The Gryph-hounds moved within 3 of the center. They're going to try to get that. Lord Aquilor going in for the kill on the Bretonnian Lord. As we move through the field, the Judicators are also advancing up the field. And we've got the Celestant Prime dropping down in the backfield to deal with this squad of knights encroaching on our objective. Knight Venator also moving into the hills there to get some better angles. Knight Azeros dropping down, using his Divine Light on the knights and the lady to give the reroll ones to hit. And over here on this side of the board, the Vanguard Hunters were just able to come in 7 inches away from both of these units and sneak in there. So hopefully they can disrupt and cause some problems for the Bretonnians. And we need to score a lot of points at this juncture. So moving into the Stormcast, shooting turn 2. All right, after the Stormcast, round 2, shooting phase. What do we do? The Judicators, these 2 squads, fired into the archers and cut down a bunch more of them. And this guy shot into the Bretonnian Lord that he's in combat with his javelin and his pistol, and did nothing there. My Lord Aquilor fired his pistol into those men-at-arms and cut one of them down. The Celestant Prime fired his Comet Scepter right here and put 2 mortals on the two mortals on the Lord, and killed 2 of the men-at-arms, or 1 of the men-at-arms, or something like that. And my Knight Venator fired his arrows and his eagle into the damsel who was standing here and failed to kill her, so the long strike raptors over here had to finish her off. And then the Vanguard Hunters down here fired into the trebuchet and put 2 wounds on it with their pistols. So that's that. We're moving into the Stormcast turn 2 charge phase. All right, so after the Stormcast combat phase, it was an interesting one. It looks like Sigmar himself came down and said no to the Bretonnian Lord. So the Lord Aquilor went in first and did like 1 damage to him or something like that, and then he activated to try to kill the Lord Aquilor and literally failed. I think he did like 3 damage to him, and I have like no buffs. It was crazy. So the fight continues there, and then the Palador did another mortal wound to the Lord there. I think he did one. And then the big fight over here, as we all saw it coming, the Prime wielding the big hammer just deleted and discontinued the Knights of Bretonnia over here, as GW loves to do. So the banhammer came down, and that knight unit is gone and secured that objective. Up here, those Vanguard Raptors still have that objective. The worthless Vanguard Hunters, GW, if you're listening, these guys need some help, like a points decrease or like a rules change or something. They did 1 wound to a friggin' trebuchet, just 1. So yeah, there was that. But overall, and the Griffhounds in the middle went in on those men-at-arms and killed a slew of them, but they're all immune to battle shock because of the Bretonnian Lord. So, but the way the cookie crumbles here on turn 2, looks like Stormcast is picking up 10 points. We control both of these far ones for 6 points. For 3. We get 5 points for having the 2-pointer in the middle. Another point over here for 6 points total, making the game a competitive 10-10. It's moving into the roll-off for the initiative. So here we go. Turn 3 initiative roll. 1. All right, so Bretonnia is going to go again. And after the Bretonnia turn 3 hero and movement phase, what went down? Well, this wizard back here casted the Geminids, and it started here and it kind of pulsed out. It took down a Stormcast and wounded another one from the Judicator squad. Killed one of the Griffhounds, put a wound on the Lord Aquilor, and finished off the Palador champion there. So that was a really good cast. Over here on this flank, the Bretonnia men-at-arms squad advanced up. They moved 10, and 3 away from my guys, and just had enough models to steal that objective from me. So that was a good move, but they won't be able to charge.
Oh, I forgot. He heals D3.
Oh, the Lord heals 1. So okay, cool. Bretonnian Lord healing up 1, and then over here the crew has decided to cut their losses and run away from the giant golden men and leave their war machine behind. So hilarious stuff going down over there, and yeah, going into the Bretonnia shooting phase, and we'll go through the combat phase too, because it'll be pretty quick. All right, after the Bretonnia combat phase, the glorious Lord of Bretonnia has slain the Lord Aquilor, just carving through his armor there and laying him down. So that was pretty cool. We got to deal with that guy now, and that was the only combat in this turn. So Bretonnia is going to pick up the center objective because they have, believe it or not, there are 5 models in 6 inches there, and they only have 4 Gryph-hounds. So they did get the center, that's 2 points. They snuck in and got this one, so that's 3 points. And the wizard back here picked up another point, so that's 4, giving them 14 points to Stormcast 10, going into turn 3 Stormcast. Stormcast turn 3, movement and hero phases are complete. I tried to cast the Geminids with my Knight Incantor, and I failed again. She is not channeling the power of Sigmar today. The Judicators here moved back. The Knight Incantor, she moved up to hopefully be useful. These guys shimmied a little. The Knight Venator moved over into the center of the field. The Celestin Prime moved into the center of the field along with his Knight Azeros buddy. Gryph-hounds kind of chilling out there on the objective, and we stayed in combat with the Vanguard Hunters. So now we're going into Stormcast turn 3 shooting. All right, after the Stormcast turn 3 shooting, we had this Judicator squad and this Judicator squad into these guys cutting down 5 or so, 3 or maybe 4, something like that. 4 or 5, cool. 6 of them, all right. The Knight Venator attempted the star-fated arrow all the way down into this gray wizard back here. Failed to wound with the star-fated arrow, but the eagle put 1 wound through on that guy. The Vanguard Raptors up there also fired at the wizard and put 2 wounds on him, so he suffered 3. The Prime, big Prime guy, there he is, shot his Comet Strike Scepter at the Bretonnian Lord and did 3 to him, so that hurt. And in hilarity ensued, and the Vanguard Hunters actually cut down the trebuchet with their pistols. So they're freed up. They can actually charge that crew. So we're going to be moving into the charge phase and try to drive off the Bretonnians. Stormcast have made their charges. Judicators in here. The Knight Incantor charged into the Lord, and she's going to ignite her flasks, doing 3 mortal wounds to herself and the Bretonnian Lord, bringing him down to 1. And then in the middle, the Gryph-hounds made it in, along with the Knight Azeros. And over here, the freed up Hunters actually made it into the fleeing crew. So not today. So, okay. Moving into the combat phases, and we'll get back after that is resolved. All right, following the combat phase, it was brutal. It was bloody. So we'll start over here. The Judicators fought against the Men-at-Arms, and they killed, I think, 1 or 2, something like that. And then the Men-at-Arms fought back and actually killed a Stormcast. That was awesome. Then here in the middle, the Prime, after the Knight Incantor activated her crystals, bringing the Lord of Bretonnia down to 1, we activated the Prime first, and he got 3 wounds through, doing 9 damage to a guy that had 1 wound left. So he dead. And then in the middle here, there was a big fight. The Gryph-hounds and the Knight Azeros cleaned up the hero of Bretonnia and the Archer squad and the other Men-at-Arms squad in there. And up here, did they run away as well? So the Hunters killed 2 of the crew, and then the rest were like, I'm out. So they ran out, so that cleaned up that. So that clears up the whole board except for this squad of Men-at-Arms down here, which I scored 14. So it's actually 14-14 right now. We're still tied up. We'll do the roll off, but we'll see what happens here. I went in for the double turn. Alright, after the hero phase, my Knight Incantor behind the trees there failed to cast yet again, so she hasn't cast anything but the Comet, which did pretty good, so that's alright. Prime moved over to go for the final, against the final stand of the Men-at-Arms here. Venator scooted up, these guys scooted up to secure control here, and the only thing left on this side of the board is that Light Wizard in the trees there, with the Hunters bearing down and the Knight Azeros. He's he's not long for this world. So, moving on to the Stormcast shooting phase. All right, we're at the end of the Stormcast shooting phase, and I just got to show this. The Knight Venator down here with his Star Eagle fired the Star Eagle's attack into these two guys remaining after all the other shooting, and rolled 2 6s to wound, which is -3 rend, and the Eagle, to finish off the last of the Bretonnians, just rips their eyes out of their face, and that'll do it. So that's the end of the game. Stormcast victory. Well played, Chase. That was a lot of fun. We had some cool, unique armies in this battle report, so that you're not going to see anywhere else. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Tune in next time to LWG.